Welcome back to the Snow Point Cast. Today we've got a versus match between myself on the left and Trevor Reed on the right. We're going to be playing Stage 1's versus Lostgar in 2011. Trevor's going to start with a mulligan on the right. I think I also... Oh, no, I don't have a mulligan. I got a basic there. So, yeah, kind of an interesting matchup. Not one that I've seen a lot of before playing it here, but definitely going to come down a lot to what kind of Pokemon I have in my hand and how can I get rid of them, because Hurl into Darkness is a really solid attack. So Trevor's going to start with the Ghastly, and I'm going to start with the Phanpy. Yeah. So Trevor's going to be going first. He's going to be playing a Lost World just because he knows that I don't play any Stadium cards in this deck, so may as well just drop it, give you that win condition anytime you'd like. Lost World's, it's actually good that he's starting off with it because it's let's just talk about the deck a little bit. So he's going to Collector as well, but Lost World, as soon as your opponent has 6 or more Pokemon in the Lost Zone, you can just activate this card and win the game. That's kind of the Lostgar's entire purpose, is they're just trying to Lost Zone your Pokemon. So Trevor's going to Collector here, probably going to go for a Magnemite, maybe a Mime Jr., as well as something else, maybe a Mew Prime, maybe a second Ghastly, kind of depends what he's got. He's just checking out his prizes right now, but probably going to get a Mime Jr. Mime Jr., one of the really solid early game ways to get Pokemon into your opponent's Lost Zone. And he does have some stuff in his hand too. I see he's got a communication there, so he does have a fair amount of options off this Collector. He can Collector, and then he's got a Candy, wait and hold 1, and then get the stage 2 next turn. Maybe hit a Magnezone to get some draw going, or a Gengar to get some Hurl into Darkness. So he does get that Mime Jr. as well as the Magnemite. I'm not sure what he's going to get for the third one here. Yeah, Mew Prime, that makes a lot of sense. Just because you're able to see off and then get a Gengar and then Lost Zone and start using the stage 2's attacks on all your Mew Primes, which is really nice. So yeah, decent start from Trev here for sure. If he's got the energy to retreat and Sleepy Lost, that's even better, because there's a chance that he might just get 1/6 of the way to Lost Zone, which is crazy. He does have that energy, and he's gonna go for the Sleepy Lost, which could really turn out well for him if it happens to be a Pokemon, and it happens to be a Zoroark. So he's 1/6 of the way, but honestly, getting a Zoroark Lost Zone is way preferable to getting the Yanmega Lost Zone. So I'm going to go for a Juniper, which actually sucks because I don't have a Collector in my hand. But if I had a Collector, that would have been really nice. But yeah, Zoroark's kind of dead in this matchup. It's not an amazing card just because Foul Play only lets you copy your opponent's attacks, and Gengar Prime's attacks don't really do any damage. So even though you do get to hit Gengar Prime for Dark Weakness, there's no attacking attacks on Gengar Prime, so you actually cannot, which sucks, unless you want to take... oh, actually, Nasty Plot you can't even use, and it doesn't do damage either. So definitely clutch from Trev to hit this... Tails here. If he can get a heads going, maybe he can hit a second Pokemon in the Lost Zone. Mime Jr. just such a early aggressor in this deck. It seems not aggressive at all, but I mean, now he's 1/6 of the way to a win, and that's a lot more than I can say for a lot of other decks after their first turn. So he's going to calm that Mew Prime and go for the Magnezone, kind of like I was saying. He's got that Candy in his hand. He's going to start drawing some cards with the Magnezone. The main reason that the Magnezone is in Lostgar is because of that magnetic draw effect. It's such a good power, and you're already playing a stage 2 type deck, and you already play Candies, so hitting a 2/1/2 Magnezone kind of just makes a lot of sense. Such a good power. I'm gonna go Candy Magnezone. See if you can... Yay, good job, Trevor. Hit the Candy Magnezone. Very, very proud. He's gonna go for a magnetic draw here. Draw, I think, 3 cards, maybe 2. Hopefully hit that energy. Really needs an energy attached this turn on the Gengar, because the more energy you can get on a Gengar, the just the better Hurl into Darkness is. I mean, you're hitting for multiple Pokemon in the Lost Zone, and you know, I don't have a ton of Pokemon in my hand, but there is a card called Spiritomb that Trevor can drop that shuffles your opponent's hand in and draws 6. He's going to go for the Haunter as well. Definitely a really solid play from Trevor here. He's communicating for not only setting up his board, but it means that he's going to magnetic draw for even more cards next turn, and Trevor's board is looking really, really solid, all things considered. And he's going to get a heads on the Sleepy Lost the turn after that he really wanted it, but still not bad. And it does mean that I am going to be able to kill this Mime Jr. this turn, which is really nice. I was hoping for that heads flip back to me so that I was able to Earthquake it, because I knew that I already had the Donphan energy in the hand. So I do get to Earthquake here, which is really nice. And the Phanpy should actually take 10 damage. It's in Japanese. So I am being silly, but only if it has an energy on it does it not take 10. So it should be taking 10, but also the card's Japanese, so my bad on that one. So yeah, gonna take the first knockout here, seeing a Mime Jr. go down. Mew Prime, if he's able to find a Psychic energy, then he can get a Gengar in the Lost Zone, and then all of a sudden, all of his other Mew Primes will be able to use Hurl into Darkness. Although I don't have any Pokemon in my hand unless I drew one off the prizes, which I did not. So in a pretty good position here, if he's able to, you know, hit a Gengar or a Switch Gengar energy, like it just kind of shuts him down a lot. Hurl into Darkness is one of the main attacks that Lostgar uses to get Pokemon in the Lost Zone. So being able to not have any Pokemon in your hand is really great. So Trevor is going to go for a Twins. Twins is so good in Lostgar because as soon as your opponent takes a prize, all 4 of your Twins are live, and they're going to be live for the rest of the game because you don't take prizes usually. Sometimes. Oh, I did catch that damage counter on the Phanpy, so it turns out I'm not as bad as I thought. So yeah, gonna go for Twins here. Find any 2 cards. One of those is probably going to be a Gengar Prime. One of them may be a supporter, maybe an energy card. He does have that magnetic draw with Magnezone, so he doesn't really need anything other than an attachment for turn and to set up his board a little bit more. But yeah, he's in a pretty good position here. He's going to be able to Twins. I don't know why he promoted the Mew instead of the Haunter, because the Haunter has free retreat, but he might just have a play in mind that he's able to do here. Yeah, going to Twins. Find 2 of any card. Twins is such a good card. Especially in this deck, right? Like you never go up on prizes, so you just have access to search for 2. You play 4 because it's so good the whole game. And he's gonna go for a Gengar and a Ghastly, which makes a lot of sense. Already had the energy in hand, and that's even better because now he gets to magnetic draw for some cards as well. He's gonna go for that magnetic draw some more cards, and yeah, he's in a pretty chill spot here. He's gonna start hurling into Darkness pretty quick. Luckily that Gengar, oh yeah, the Mew's got free retreat as well, might be. Luckily the Gengar is not going to hit for any Pokemon this turn, just because I do not have any Pokemon in hand. 2 plus powers, 2 junk arms, and a reversal, which is not what you want at all. Really nice if I'm able to hit this reversal though. Actually, I don't know if doing that is correct, because it means that I don't get to have a junk arm for... Okay, so Tails. Then I'm going to go junk arm for it again, because if I hit it, then I can kill the Magnezone here, which is really nice. Because I have that plus power in my hand, so we're going to see what we got. Hit the heads there off screen, but it was a heads. We're going to attach a plus power to the Dawn Fan, which is going to hit for 70, which is ×2 is a knockout of the Magnezone. So killing that draw engine. This is kind of just in general, but if you can ever take out your opponent's draw engine, especially when they're kind of relying on it a fair amount, like he doesn't really have anything else. And so yeah, he's going to Seeker for that guaranteed Pokemon in hand, get the Hurl into Darkness, get a second Pokemon this turn. But whenever you're able to take out your opponent's draw engine, it's usually really nice. Super solid option because they just don't have that draw anymore. And like especially in formats like 2010 where Claydol is a thing, usually targeting the Claydol is correct. So similarly to that format, if you can target the Magnezone and kill it, not only are you killing a potential attacker, which this deck can use it to attack for 100 and then Cursed Drop for a clear and then take a knockout there with Catastrophe on the Gengar Prime, but you know, not that common, but it is really, really good as a draw option. So being able to not have to worry about that draw anymore and kind of force Trevor to hit some more stuff is really nice. So he is going to go into Hurl into Darkness for the 2, and then I'm going to go for a Collector, find Yanma, Bouffalant. Bouffalant, honestly, I don't know if Bouffalant's the correct call here. Maybe just getting another Phanpy seems better. Just because Gengar's resistant to colorless, so there's not a ton that can be done. However, I guess if he decides to do the Cursed Drop on a Yanma, which he does have the option to do, he could take a knockout. Is that 70 HP? I don't even remember. If it's 70, then he can't, but if it's 50, then he can. It might be 50. I don't play this format enough to really know. But he's going to mention a second Mew Prime here, which is nice. He's just setting up for his late game. And yeah, it is 50, so that makes sense. He's going to go Cursed Drop, and then with Catastrophe, that's a knockout. So kind of just ready to be able to attack with a Bouffalant to KO here, if that is the case. 6 + 7, 130 is exactly the knockout. So I need to find a switch. I think I'm in top deck mode for a switch. I only have 1 card in my hand, which really sucks. I'm going to miss that. But I guess setting up for it was pretty good. You know, if I did have that switch out, would have been really nice. And he's going to go for another Mime Jr. here, and then retreat to the Mime Jr. He doesn't want to lose his Gengar. If you can prevent it, just because hitting like a Seeker when he's forced, yeah, see, I'm Seekered and I'm forced to hit 1 into hand, then he's gonna potentially have that option next turn as well. So yeah, Trevor's in a really decent spot, and honestly, Lostgar usually doesn't set up this well, but having the turn 2 Magnezone was a pretty big deal here, and he's gonna go for a Sleepy Lost to hit that energy, which I didn't really want, or which I did want rather, and I draw a Yanma instead, which is not amazing because now I got 2 Yanmas on the board, and as soon as I Earthquake, it just means that I'm in a bit of a dicey spot because I don't want them in my hand because then they can get hurled into darkness, but I also don't want them on the bench because they have 50 HP, and then with an Earthquake and a Cursed Drop, it gets knocked out anyway. So I guess they're better on my board because it takes 2 turns to knock them out with Cursed Drop instead of just 1 hurl into darkness, but still not an amazing position to be in just because you're setting your opponent up for the late game. Although I am taking prizes at a pretty steady rate here. I'm down to 3 prizes now, so Trevor, even though we will be able to take another knockout on this Yanma this turn with the Gengar that he secret up, he is also only 3 prizes away from getting knocked out. And I do have the 1-shot on Mew Primes as well, so I just need to be able to find some Junk Arms and some Versus Seeker, or not Versus Seekers, Junk Arms and some Reversals rather, then hopefully we can get something off of that. So I'm going to go for a Judge here. Just because I don't want to get stuck with more cards in my hand than I need. If I have 6 cards in my hand, it's more likely that I'm going to draw stage 1s that I can't evolve. Like I could hit a Zoroark, or I could hit a Donphan, and those are just Pokemon that are going to get hurled into darkness. Trevor is only 2 away, so if he hurls into darkness for 2 more, I just lose the game. So I really don't want to draw Pokemon here, and I don't, which is really nice. So I have the energy, 2 supporters. What else here? Yeah, so get going for the energy. Then I have, it looks like a Juniper and 2 Professor Oak's New Theory. So much better than the 6. The 6 is just too risky. Even though, drawing the cards seems better, it's actually not in this matchup because you don't want to have a lot of cards in your hand against Gengar Prime. Gonna go in for another Earthquake for 60, and then next turn I'll be able to hit for 90 if I'm able to find the energy, which is pretty good. Probably gonna go for Professor Oak's New Theory, even though it's a little bit risky. If I'm able to kill the Gengar, it's not as big of a risk. I really need to hit that energy next turn. So yeah, we'll see what Trevor's got here. He does have some options for sure. With 3 prizes left, there's gonna be a fair amount of time left in the game where he can kind of stall out. The thing about Gengar is you're playing a very different deck than your opponent. Like you're only gunning for 6 Pokemon in the Lost Zone, and he has 1, 2, he has 4 already. So he only needs 2 more, and if he can get those 2 in the Lost Zone before I'm able to take 3 prizes, he just wins the game. So he's kind of put himself on a clock, but he has a lot of time on this clock, especially when he's drawing cards like Twins and stuff, even though he's taking prizes, which his deck usually never does. With the Earthquake, damage counters on Yanmega, the Cursed Drop is actually pretty good against Yanma if you're not able to find a Yanmega. So he's going to go for a Candy Gengar, get a second Gengar out, which is really nice for Trev because it means he's going to have that opportunity to start rotating around Gengars. This one is within range of knockout, but the other one is not. So he's probably just going to go for a Hurl into Darkness, pray that I have a Pokemon in my 3-card hand. Oh no, Cursed Drop. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Because now he only needs 1 more Pokemon in the Lost Zone. Then he wins the game. So Trev's getting real close, and if I hit that energy here, I will also be able to get the knockout. So I'm probably just going to go for a Professor Oak's New Theory, or Juniper. Okay, that makes sense. Honestly, I think a Pont probably would have been better, just because the drawing cards aspect is bad. I don't get punished for it though because I have Pokemon that I can bench. However, the Tyrogue does really suck because it can just get Cursed Drop KO'd. I do hit the energy, so I'm able to get 1 more prize closer, but I still have to find 2 more prizes before I'm able to get there. No Junk Arms either. Junk Arm is another card that's really powerful in this matchup because you're just able to discard those liabilities. Like I really don't want to have a Tyrogue on my bench because if Trevor has the second energy, which he likely will, I'll just get Cursed Dropped, which is not great, but at the same time it's better than getting hurled into darkness because I don't know if Trevor has the energy, and that might be what he's stuck with anyway. And so he's going to do that. Yeah, he's going to go for the Seeker, and then he's going to be able to hurl into darkness, and it's looking pretty grim for me now because he's guaranteed got that Lost World next turn. He's going to go for, it doesn't really matter, hit either of the 2. I drew the Zoroark off the prize, so it would have hit either way. And that's boom, easy money, all 6 right there. And next turn, Trevor's going to be able to use Lost World for the win, which is really cool. Super close game, though. I mean, I was down to 2 prizes. It was pretty close. I just wasn't able to keep up. And with that early game Sleepy lost with Mime Jr., it was definitely a little bit dicey. But yeah, this has been a match of Stage 1s versus Lostgar. Kind of a cool showing of Lostgar. If you have any questions about the deck or the matchup, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to get to them. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you next time.